Welcome to Subramani. I did a video on creating intergenerational wealth, which means you create wealth to be passed on to generations, like heirloom, right? It's always thought that it is a house or some jewelry with which you can create these things, but yes, you can create it with mutual funds. So I said pick up any fund, largely a multi-asset fund, because all types of assets are covered in that. And later on, when the amount becomes bigger, maybe you could buy some real estate or jewelry also from that and create a bigger pie or bigger size of the heirloom. Now we have to also remember what really causes this interruption of this wealth creation process. There are many things. First is poor financial management. One very important thing in creating this financial heirloom is to make sure that you teach your family what you are doing. What is this process of why you are creating a financial heirloom, saying here I am planting a tree for many generations. We will all pluck mangoes, but we will not cut the tree, right? So what are the causes which can break it? Yes, first is not being able to understand the process, not being prudent financially to realize that the tree needs some water. Somebody needs to continue to do the SIPs so that the inflation or any other thing does not hit it too badly. So if you keep contributing, great, but at least don't cut the tree, don't interrupt the processing, don't interrupt the process of compounding, right? So first is poor financial management, not understanding, thinking you can keep withdrawing from that and destroying wealth. The Vanderbilt family did it. There are multiple, you just go to Google and find out the Vanderbilt story. It is unbelievable when you read the story, but they have destroyed wealth. So there are many such families. We saw the Ranbaxy family in India, the way they destroyed wealth. So we have seen that also. So wealth destruction is easy, construction is difficult. So whether it is Tatas, Birlas, Vadias, Ambanis, whoever, even Ambani is not such a long story, but for the others, which is a 200-year-old story, the question is the power of compounding is the power of N. So I'm not even saying how much you should contribute, at what rate this multi-asset fund will grow, but it will grow. And as long as you don't interrupt the compounding, it will grow well. Certain times it would look like, oh my God, why do I have to put in gold? Why do I have to put in debt? Why not only equities? That could also work, but this could be one of the vehicles of creating the heirloom. So don't interrupt the compounding. People not understanding financial management, people not understanding taxation. That is another problem, because you should know how to withdraw, what is clubbing provision, right? All those things, it is necessary. You need to understand enough taxation, personal taxation, to know what can interrupt the compounding. So not knowing that is a problem. Family fights, ego problems, whatever, saying why is he allowed to withdraw more, why is she allowed to withdraw more. Bad marriages, right? So ending in divorce, somebody trying to take money out which may not be theirs by right? So all those things could be the reasons why this whole process fails. Taxation changes, not reacting to that, right? So privy purses were abolished, so a lot of the wealth of many of the kings were destroyed, but many of them also invested very wisely and they have grown it, right? So when you have money, teaching your family how to manage it, that is perhaps the biggest contribution you can do. Even if you don't contribute money to it, contribute to the understanding, that compounding should not be interrupted by not understanding finance, not understanding tax, right? All those things. The family disputes, legal battles, divorce, bad tax planning, bad estate planning. Right now there are no estate duties in India, but expected any time now, so that could also come. Natural growth of the family and leading to not enough people earning on their own, right? So if there are more dependents on this heirloom, more of it will get withdrawn. You should have withdrawal rules also, saying if inflation is 4% and the fund is giving you 7-8%, you could withdraw 2%. But if you start withdrawing 7% because the returns are 7%, then you're not perhaps keeping pace with inflation. So that's not right. Unless you're getting such a huge return, you're getting 14% return and you withdraw 7%, it's still okay because you're keeping pace with inflation, but you're not growing your asset, right? The asset has to keep pace with inflation. So withdrawing too much could be a bad reason, could be one of the ways how you are disrupting the compounding. not being able to understand the changes that are happening in the world, right? So real estate in that location is not growing, so part of your heirloom is in real estate. You need to know how to manage it. So good financial management skills have to be learned, have to be taught. Maybe a good advisor could be in place, and you could say that you should use an advisor for investment, or you should use index funds, or you should use asset allocator funds, whatever. So all those rules, regulations which are as of today have to be made. It has to be sure that there is a committee looking after it, 2-3 people. All this is necessary. I mean, if you see how big family groups make rules for withdrawal, make rules for saying who can withdraw how much and what can't be done, all those rules, regulations today maybe you understand, tomorrow your children may not be able to understand. So communicating to them, that all that is important. What other thing which happens is, when you do this, the immediate reaction is to say, why do we need to do this? Why can't our children earn money like we did? Right? Of course you can ask that question, but is it possible that your children will say, oh, now that we have so much money, we will not work? Some may, but some may not. Many may not, right? So there are families where a lot of wealth gets created, and the children take it forward from there and create more wealth. So if you see the Murugappa group in the south, the TVS group, right, and in the north, if you take Eicher, Nandas, Escorts, etc., they've all created wealth over generations. So it's not to say that they won't create, that the family will become very, let's say, they will not put in the efforts and things like that. That's wrong. If you create a base, then the children can work on it further, right? So they can grow it much bigger. And it can become a much bigger heirloom. So if you're creating heirloom, be aware of all these things which can destroy the wealth, but it does not mean you stop doing it at all because of these problems. Learn that these problems could be there, solve it, talk to your family, sit with them, communicate. Teaching them money is as important as telling them that they have to contribute, and teaching them not to interrupt the compounding. That is also important. That is something which you have to do to create this heirloom or intergenerational wealth for your family. Thank you.